I think that we should define engineering. What is engineering?
Engineers build society. It's that simple.
What it does is bring together advancements from science and advancements from technology in service of society.
I think of engineers as being the ones who make things happen.
Engineering has to be about the challenge of finding the right answer and the
really
discipline that it takes to get there.
Discipline and a rigor to the process.
And I use that word discipline.
Well, I think the important part of an engineering education, it teaches you how to think critically.
It helps you figure out how to learn and how to solve
In my opinion,
problems.
the engineering degree is the best degree any undergraduate.
It just makes for a dynamite individual in every field.
I think the Viterbi School of Engineering is a tremendously vibrant place.
If we look at all the technological innovations here in the past 100 years, the USC Viterbi School of Engineering has truly made a difference. I'm really thrilled that this year, when the university is celebrating the 125 years of its existence, we're also celebrating the 100 years of engineering at USC.
In 1905, Los Angeles was a growing western town, and the University of Southern California was adapting to the changing times by offering its first courses in engineering. By 1927, the engineering program had grown to the point that USC established a separate College of Engineering. Professor Philip S. Beegler became its first dean.
Dean Beegler grew significantly the school, recruited talented faculty who left their imprint in the future development of the school.
One of the recruits was alumnus Robert Vivian, who himself became dean in 1940.
Of course, the vets were coming back to school on the GI Bill, so the place was loaded.
Dean Vivian was wonderful in making it possible for as many of those students to come here.
They didn't have the buildings to accommodate all the returning vets.
The greatest influx of students this university had ever had. And so the School of Engineering got 5 of 29 barracks that got moved onto this campus.
No air conditioning, very little heating, and boy was I happy to see those go when they did started building the Olin Hall.
That, of course, just was tremendous for the School of Engineering. We got rid of 4 of the 5 barracks. We got rid of the last barracks when Tudor Hall was built here just a few years ago.
Our transition to a research institution really began under Dean Vivian.
He recruited very talented faculty and grew the graduate program significantly.
And the University of Southern California had the flexibility enough to operate a graduate school out at Edwards Air Force Base. The spirit of the place was of intellectual competence. It was, here are people who know what they're talking about, and they're doing the right things.
I came to California in 1957 to go work at JPL. USC provided me with the best of all possibilities in Southern California.
Interesting thing happened in that year of 57, October, the Russians threw up Sputnik. And all kinds of things changed in the engineering field.
There was the thrill of space, and also we were deep into the Cold War.
In 1960, Alfred Ingersoll succeeded Robert Vivian as dean.
Now, Dean Ingersoll was a very, very student-friendly dean. I swear he knew every student's name.
He pushed hard for improving the undergraduate education and the undergraduate environment, and the recruitment of female students in engineering.
By 1964, the Viterbi School of Engineering had over 2,000 students. It was one of the largest in the country, right behind MIT in the number of graduate degrees awarded.
And the engineering campus continued to grow over the next decade. At the dawn of the information age, a new dean took the helm of the school. Charismatic, energetic, and visionary, Zorab Kaprilyan would take the school to new heights.
I was hired by Zorab Kaprilyan, who was arguably one of the best deans in the school's history.
USC made a transformation, becoming a research university as we are today. That was primarily due to Dean Zorab Kaprilyan.
At the time, Zorab served as both dean and provost.
There was a point in time where he was both department chair, dean, provost. I think it was Sol Galam who once said that the 4 people that he reports to above him were all named Kaprilyan.
He was very well known, for example, for recruiting excellent faculty.
I interviewed with Kaprilyan, And I was very impressed with him. He had a real vision as to where he wanted the school to go and felt that he could take it there.
And he wouldn't take no for an answer.
The other big thing that he did at that time was the Information Sciences Institute, led by the late Keith Unkerford. It came by USC. Within a day or two, Kerpillion had it locked into USC. I mean, there was no bureaucracy. And that was one of the nice things about USC. Things could get done. Kerpillion knew how to get the things done. He was just a master builder, and I think he was an inspiration for all of us.
Remarkable person. I'm very delighted to have worked with him.
You know, we wouldn't be who we were without Kerpillion.
Kerpillion's sudden death in 1981 left the school searching for the right successor, and Professor Leonard Silverman rose to the challenge.
Len Silverman's always had a vision, and had the vision to see that excellence comes from daring and from doing good science.
His legacy has been one of recruiting very good people, expanding the school in many directions, and I'm proud to say that I was helpful in the distance education network.
The School of Engineering has been a pioneer in distance education, and we have a global reach. We have students all over the world, in Korea, in Europe, in Asia, in India.
Boeing Company has a great relationship with the Viterbi School of Engineering. Being able to reach back to an institution like USC through distance learning is critical for our engineers to maintain up-to-date skills and competencies to be able to solve our problems.
It really enriches the whole experience for both our graduate and our undergraduate students because they can interact with others around the world and really share different experiences through technology.
And today, our engineers are able to get an education as if they're in the classroom. That's a great value to Boeing.
It's possible to earn a USC Viterbi School of Engineering degree without ever stepping foot on the USC campus.
Silverman also guided us through the difficult period of the early 1990s.
We were more tied into the aerospace industry than any university. We had to start talking about, well, what's going to replace that? Let's look at something like entertainment. Then after I hired Max Nikias, he took that, ran with that, formed alliances with different parts of the university.
I recommended to the dean that we ought to look at very seriously winning an engineering research center from the National Science Foundation.
When the proposals came in, first it was far more detailed. It was massive. And I called one of Max's assistants and I said, "You guys are dead. There's a word count limit." And Max got on the phone. He said, yes, there's no limit on charts and graphs. Well, right after USC submitted that proposal, NSF put a limit on charts and graphs.
It ended up being the best proposal NSF received that year. Literally, they rated it #1 out of over 100 proposals.
And in 1996, NSF established the Integrated Media Systems Center as the Engineering Research Center in Multimedia and the Internet.
USC won it with this vision, that IMSC would help create an experience for users that was indistinguishable from reality. Now, that was almost science fiction back then when that first proposal was written, but now it's really fact.
The school's success during the 90s was not limited to multimedia. In 1998, Alfred E. Mann gave the university a major gift, creating an institute for biomedical engineering.
Immediately, it gave us cachet and, established us as a major bioengineering research center.
The Institute is designed to build products that will be licensed to industry and to have the industry build those products and make them available for patients.
As the school continued its rise, more was needed to support its research and educational programs.
The school had not done a good job of connecting with its alumni, and we had to do much, much better.
Well, Leonard Silverman gave me a call one day. I'm not quite sure to this day how he found me, but that started a relationship.
And he literally said, I've been waiting for someone from USC to find me. I want to get involved.
Daniel J. Epstein's gift to the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department was a watershed moment.
Mark Stevens was another one like that.
Len Silverman asked me to get involved with the school. I was invited to join the Board of Counselors, and so over the last 10 years I've been involved in school in a variety of ways.
Dean Silverman's tenure set the stage for the enormous growth that followed. In 2001, a new dean was named to take USC Engineering into the 21st century, Max Nikias.
Max never met Zurab Kaprilyan, and yet he was his role model. And I must say that Max has surpassed Zurab.
It was obvious from the moment that I started working with him that he was on the road to greatness.
He just came out running fast, really did everything the right way.
It was Dean Nikias who was able to persuade the faculty that a fundamental transformation in the institution was possible.
He really impressed me as being able to provide the direction and goals so that we would become the elite.
That's not management, that's leadership.
He relates well to students and to faculty and to the administration and to people in the industry.
He was the inspiration and driving force behind getting some of us to put together what became the second Engineering Research Center here, the one on biomimetic microelectronic systems.
Under Dean Nikias, the Viterbi School became one of only 4 schools in the nation to have 2 active NSF engineering research centers.
And USC, a couple of years ago, won the first Research Center of Excellence from the Department of Homeland Security, having competed with 73 other universities.
USC has turned into a first-rate research institution.
I do work specifically on high-performance communication within the computer itself.
My focus in particular on what's called smart structure, to try to embody some of the biological features of human body into buildings.
Is it possible that a computer could actually be liquid, that you could spell it on a table? Well, it turns out the answer is yes, because that's exactly what DNA computers do.
The Bion is a device that's intended primarily for paralyzed muscles.
Our ultimate goal is to take robots and put them in service of mankind, really help people in whatever area they need help.
Music is really my passion, and so I've found a great way to bridge my engineering technical background with something that involves music.
Computational approaches to music cognition, to explain what it is that people do when we listen to music.
Been extremely rewarding to me as a faculty member, because I can take students who learn these concepts in class and we apply it to a real engineering project.
The Army, they wanted to team computer science and engineering technology with Hollywood and video game expertise and bring those together for military training.
Almost any part of information technology that you can think about and applications of information technology we're working on or are interested in working in.
I have a core focus, which is in building programming tools for application scientists.
My particular area of focus is new technologies for learning. We actually try to create interactive learning experiences that are able to adapt to each learner's individual characteristics.
We're going to see the kind of multimedia prototypes and test beds that IMSC is creating become part of electronic democracy.
With Max Nikias as dean, USC moved to the forefront of virtually every engineering discipline.
The school has been able to adapt to the new challenges of industry.
We've figured out that if you listen to industry and you take them seriously, they will give you important information about the kind of education they think is valuable.
USC has developed programs that are really focused on meeting Boeing's needs.
What is extremely important of being a research university is that we make it easy for the transfer of new scientific and technological innovations to the marketplace.
It's about dealing with the fact that really good ideas don't just turn into products without a lot of effort.
To take USC technology out of the labs and into the marketplace, Dean Nikias turned to alumnus, venture capitalist, and USC trustee, Mark Stevens.
The creation of SciTech was really based on a desire that I had to give back to the school. SciTech is really intended to help researchers and students at USC to take technological advances and the basic research that's being done on campus and make sure that that technology gets out into commercially viable companies and commercially viable products.
That really helps posture the Viterbi engineers to be ready for business when it comes time for them to graduate.
With the school growing in so many areas, it was time to expand, to design a 21st century home for the Viterbi School, Ronald Tudor answered the call.
I always had this attachment to USC, so to do something positive for the university was just really a great opportunity.
When we first started talking to Ron about it, it was a student-centric building.
Dedicated in the centennial year, Tudor Hall is the center of some of the most exciting research done at Viterbi.
Ron Tudor certainly provided this hall and built it so that it can be anything to anybody in the future.
But the most important milestone for the school occurred on March 2, 2004, when it became the USC Andrew and Erna Viterbi School of Engineering.
Max's vision of the future was such that I decided that it might not be a bad idea to be even more closely associated. I spoke to my wife and she thought it was a good idea.
The name is by far much bigger than the money they contributed to the endowment of the school.
Viterbi himself is one of the great engineers of the 20th century.
He is someone who has succeeded not only in academia, but also in industry.
It's really given the school prestige and a recognition beyond what it already had achieved.
The Viterbi family will be an inspiration for our students and our faculty in perpetuity.
Near the end of his tenure, Dean Nikias joined with alumnus John Mork and his family to create the Mork Family Department of Chemical Engineering and Materials Science.
The Mork gift is the first gift in the celebration of the 100 years of engineering. It could not have come at a better time.
I'm hopeful that Julie's and my contribution can make the future as bright as the past has been.
I can't say enough about how much Dean Nikias has accomplished.
And if you give him the opportunity, Max will describe all this in 80 slides or more in considerable detail.
And now with Max gone, Giannis has been able to pick up, continued this enthusiasm onward without even a skip of a heartbeat.
What I have learned from Max is look at the big picture, make decisions that are bold, and will have long-term effect for the benefit of the school.
It's exciting to see a lot of the ideas that he has for the undergraduate students, strengthening the curriculum and the learner-centered education, which is part of the university strategic plan.
Our students really like the fact that they can major in electrical engineering and minor in music recording, or major in chemical engineering and double major in East Asian languages and culture.
The atmosphere at the Viterbi School has actually allowed me to create a group and a research program that allowed me to combine my two loves.
This school is devoted to interdisciplinary study. It builds buildings to try to bring people from different disciplines together. That interdisciplinary study may be our future.
I believe that over the next century, we will see the emergence of departments, for example, that exist in more than one school at a time. And I think that the Viterbi School will probably be at the forefront of this trend.
It may be the way this university will become one of the great universities, and it seems like it's on its way.
The school's rise in prominence is due in no small part to the dedication of its alumni and friends.
The question then arises, why? The reason is that the very same boost to success that we've gotten, we want to pass on to others.
If we have done well in life, if the university has equipped us well, we need to help. We need to do something.
When I see those super alumni, I don't know what else to call. It gives me a call to action. You know, it says, Ray, what can you do for the university?
USC really is a community. There really is this bond between people who went to USC.
You know, I feel like I would want to give back to the school since that's part of what has made me where I am.
It's an act of trust when you make an investment and a commitment, but it goes beyond that.
If I'm asked to invest in something, the question I ask is, who's in charge? In the case of USC, Steve Sample is in charge. What do you need to know? Number one, he's an electrical engineer.
President Sample's legacy will always be that he's transformed USC into a truly remarkable research university.
A great innovator in education and a great innovator in leadership.
Under President Sample's leadership, the university has had the fastest ascent as compared to any other university in the history of higher education. And the USC Viterbi School of Engineering has been part of the ride.
A centennial is always a tremendous milestone.
It's great that we can celebrate the success of both the Viterbi School as well as the university in the same year.
What makes the Viterbi School so great? It's happened because of the enthusiasm of the deans. It's happened because of the enthusiasm of the students, both undergraduate and graduate, and of the faculty.
What matters most at a university is not the level it's at, but the slope on the curve.
We want to take their breath away next year, too.
We're really poised for another huge leap.
It's strategically positioned to play a pivotal role in this new industrial revolution.
We'll be one of the schools that create the next century. We'll be there when things are happening.
And there's no question that new areas will be explored.
I think this is a school that sees the future and is trying to advance it, and will.
It's optimistic, it's forward-looking, it's multidisciplinary. It's really all about the future and how we can shape that future.
And if that's what you're interested in doing, I can't think of a better place to be to do it.
And I think the next 100 years, the USC will become #1, just like our football team.
I won't say any dirty jokes, but the classic one's the engineer's walking along a stream and he finds a frog. And the frog croaks and he looks down and picks him up, and the frog finally says, "I'm just a beautiful princess, really, but an evil spell cast me on this frog. So if you kiss me, I will be not only your slave, but I will grant you 3 wishes, whatever you want." And the engineer said, "Oh, that's nice," picked up the frog and put it in his pocket. And his buddy was next to him and says, "Hey, why'd you pass up an opportunity like that?" He says, "Well, it's not every day you can have a talking frog."